My name is Wendy Thomas. I'm 29 years old. I'm a registered nurse. And this is the story of how my father tried to let me die, not because the doctors said I couldn't be saved, but because the billing department told him the price. What he did next didn't just break my trust. It cost him everything. I was born with a hole in my heart. At 4 years old, they opened my chest. The surgery took 11 hours. The bill took my father 20 years to hold over my head. You know how much you cost this family? I was 8. I'd asked for new sneakers. He didn't look up from his stack of bills. $214,000. That's what you cost. I stopped asking for things after that. By the time I was 18, I had signed my own student loans. My older sister, Meredith, got a car, tuition, dinner at restaurants. I got the bus, a repayment plan, and cake from a box. I didn't resent it. I believed I owed them. My father had said it so many times, you cost this family everything, that the debt felt as real as the scar on my chest. The only person who never mentioned that debt was my grandmother, Lillian. She lived alone in a small brick house in Norristown. I visited her every Saturday. She never asked what I owed. She asked if I'd eaten. She asked about my week. And once, near the end, she said something I didn't understand. I've taken care of things for you, Wendy. When the time comes, a man named Kessler will find you. I thought she was confused. She wasn't. She died on a Thursday in March. Quietly. In her sleep. 3 months later, I was driving home from a 12-hour shift. Route 202. Light rain. A pickup truck ran a red light doing 50. I don't remember the sound. I don't remember the glass. I remember waking up 3 weeks later. The first face I saw wasn't my father's. It was Pat, the head nurse. She sat beside my bed, took my hand, and told me what happened. The night of the accident, my father came to the hospital. He didn't ask how I was. He walked straight to the billing department. Then he found my surgeon. How much is this going to cost? The doctor told him. $180,000 to $240,000. Insurance would cover part, but my father was a co-signer on old medical debt. He'd insisted on that when I was 18. I thought it was protection. It was a leash. Let her go, he said. We won't pay for the surgery. She's been a financial drain her whole life. He signed a do not resuscitate order. His hand was steady. He didn't visit my room. He didn't look through the glass. He went home and slept. Pat found my healthcare proxy in my employee file. My best friend, Deborah, lived 45 minutes away. Pat called her at 11:14 p.m. Deborah drove through the rain, walked into the hospital at 12:51 a.m., and revoked the DNR. I didn't know any of this. While I lay unconscious, my father was certain I would die by morning. Instead, he made his second mistake. The next day, expecting a phone call with a time of death, he drove to the county recorder's office. He had a power of attorney document. My signature was on it. I had never signed it. He'd traced my handwriting from old medical forms. He forged the POA, found a notary who owed him a favor, and transferred my grandmother's house, the house Lillian had already left to me in her will, into his own name. Then he took out a $280,000 mortgage against it. He didn't know the house was already mine. He didn't know about Kessler. And he didn't know that while he slept soundly the night he signed my DNR, a woman named Patricia Walsh was writing down every word he'd said and filing an incident report. 3 weeks after the accident, I opened my eyes. Pat told me everything. The DNR. The forged deed. The mortgage. I didn't cry. I wasn't surprised. I had spent 29 years learning exactly who my father was. This was simply the final lesson. I picked up my phone. I called the name my grandmother had given me. This is Donald Kessler. He'd been trying to reach me for 4 months. My father had told him I'd moved out of state and didn't want to be contacted. Your grandmother left you everything, Kessler said. The house, $85,000 in a trust. It's all yours. I asked him to come to the hospital. He brought a letter. Wendy, I know your father will try to take everything. He already has my pension, my savings. I never told you because I didn't want to break the family apart. That was my mistake. Don't make it yours. The house is yours. The money is yours. Don't let anyone take what's yours. Not even your father. Especially your father. You're stronger than me, sweetheart. You always have been. Lillian. I read it twice. Then I made a plan. 5 days later, I was discharged. My father came to pick me up. You're staying with us, he said. It wasn't an offer. Deborah's picking me up. His face tightened. He didn't argue. He didn't know I knew. He was still testing the perimeter. That night he called. Grandma's house, he said, casual. I've been handling the estate stuff. Don't worry about it. Okay, Dad. Thanks for taking care of it. I hung up. Deborah looked at me from the doorway. How do you sound so calm? Practice, I said. 29 years of practice. Sunday morning. First Grace Community Church. My father had been a deacon here for 15 years. He ushered at the door. He read scripture. He organized the men's breakfast. Pastor David called him a man of faith and sacrifice. Every first Sunday of the month, the church held a potluck in the fellowship hall. Gerald always spoke. He always talked about gratitude, about family, about giving without expecting anything in return. 120 people believed every word. I walked in at 11:20. Gray suit, black slacks, a manila folder in my bag. Kessler was waiting by the flagpole. The service ended at noon. The congregation filed into the hall. Gerald stood at the microphone, hands clasped, waiting for the room to settle. As many of you know, he said, my youngest daughter, Wendy, was in a serious car accident. She was in a coma for 3 weeks. The doctors weren't sure she'd make it. He paused. He was good at pauses. But God is faithful. And today, Wendy is here with us. He turned and gestured toward me. The room applauded. As a father, he said, voice cracking, there is nothing more terrifying than almost losing your child. I prayed every night. I never left her side. I felt the words land in my chest. Not like a wound. Like a key turning in a lock. He smiled. He opened his arms. The universal gesture of a father expecting an embrace. I walked toward him. Dad, I said. Can I say a few words? He handed me the microphone. I turned to face the room. Thank you for your prayers, I said. But I need to correct something my father just said. The room stilled. My father wasn't at my bedside. He was at the hospital once. He went to billing. Then he told my surgeon, let her go. We won't pay. She's been a financial drain her whole life. Silence. He signed a do not resuscitate order. I'm alive because a nurse found my healthcare proxy and called my friend in the middle of the night. Not my father. Not my sister. A friend. Gerald stepped forward. Wendy, stop. This isn't the place. You chose a church to lie. I'm choosing the same church for the truth. The side door opened. Donald Kessler walked in. Gray suit. Leather briefcase. He stood beside me. My grandmother left me her house, I said. While I was in a coma, my father forged my signature on a power of attorney, transferred the house into his name, and took out a $280,000 mortgage against it. A gasp. A dish hit the floor. No one moved. Kessler opened his briefcase. He held up the original will. Solely to Wendy Marie Thomas, he said. Your name does not appear anywhere in this document, Mr. Thomas. Gerald looked at Meredith. Meredith was staring at the floor. Tell them, Meredith, he said. Tell them I was trying to protect this family. Meredith pulled her arm free. She walked toward the door. As she passed me, she whispered 6 words. I should have called Deborah myself. Then she was gone. I turned back to the congregation. I'm not here to destroy my father. I'm here because for 15 years, he has stood at this microphone and told you who he is. I think you deserve to know the truth. Then I looked at Gerald. Here's what's going to happen. The deed transfer has been voided. The mortgage is frozen. You will return the $280,000, or you will face criminal charges. His voice came out raw. You'd send your own father to jail? You signed a paper to let your own daughter die. I didn't shout. I didn't tremble. I'm not sending you anywhere, Dad. I'm giving you a chance to make it right. That's more than you gave me. Gerald walked out. No one followed him. Within 72 hours, everything collapsed. The bank froze the mortgage. The county voided the deed. Gerald was served with a summons. He was asked to step down as deacon. His plumbing clients disappeared. He called me that night. You destroyed me. No, Dad. You destroyed yourself. I just stopped covering for you. He hung up. Meredith called 3 days later. I knew about the DNR, she said. I was in the waiting room. He promised me $85,000 to keep quiet. And you kept quiet. Yes. She was crying. The way she used to cry when we were children. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I know I don't deserve it. You're right. You don't. Not right now. Pause. But I'm not going to pretend you don't exist, Meredith. If you want to rebuild something, not with Dad's money, you know where to find me. 1 month later, the deed to Lillian's house was back in my name. Gerald accepted a plea deal. Forgery. Fraud. Probation. Full restitution. He sold his house. It wasn't enough. The debt will follow him for years. I don't hate him. Hating him would mean he still controls how I feel. He doesn't. Not anymore. I still go to church. Different church. Same God. I sit in the front row. Not because I need to be seen. Because I'm done hiding in the back.